Welcome back to the Code Green Radio Show brought to you by SB Nation. Tonight on the show, we have a very special guest. John Surasu is a person who does not settle for anything less than 100%. Coming from an immigrant family and through hard work and dedication, he rose to the ranks of a top 50 strength coach in the country. John was a football standout, and he spent time on the New York Jets. Now John is using all of his ambition for his company, Rare Breed. With Rare Breed, you get to look the part and act the part of a motivated individual like John, who won't accept anything less than 100%. So, John, I just want to welcome you to the show tonight. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on our show. So, Craig, why don't you start it off? What's your first question for John?
Yeah, John, again, thanks so much for taking the time to join us tonight. Can you explain to everybody, Rich did a great job of introing you and Rare Breed, but from your mouth, what exactly is Rare Breed?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's an honor. I'm flattered to be on with you guys, and I hope this interview doesn't tank. But yeah. So Rare Breed is a company that we started about 5 years ago. It's an apparel line that fosters independence, builds confidence, and defines all. That's kind of our company motto. Um, we built it out of blood, sweat, and grind, as my brother and I always used to say. But it's the shirt has become like a byproduct of what the movement has become, and what we try to push to the youth and now adults with the crazy world that we live in right now, that we're trying to promote positive outlook on themselves, on life, uh, and not letting the world define you and you define yourself. I am a rare breed. So kind of that's what we're built on. We're trying to showcase the unique skill set of the kids and the athletes that we represent. And the shirt does that by tagging you as a rare breed.
Yeah, I mean, blood, sweat, and grime. I like that. I'm gonna start using that. Uh,
Yeah.
John, I mean, you're an entrepreneur now. I mean, you've been an entrepreneur for a while now, but I mean, with Raw Breed and everything else, you have such a competitive attitude. So how does that correlate over to Rare Breed?
Um, it's funny because when we first started, I think that was our biggest competitive advantage because we were athletes and because it wasn't easy, growing up and always fighting for positions and making the team and all that stuff. And so everybody's got a t-shirt company. I mean, everybody's got a t-shirt company. So you had to kind of what's going to differentiate yourself um, in the marketplace, and it was our drive to promote our message and to continue to like inspire kids and get out there and hustle a little bit. And we learned that on the field. We didn't, we learned that from our parents, and we learned that from all the sports that we played. And because like if you're not gonna give it everything you got when you're on the field and wherever you are, you're not gonna make it. So that's kind of the I think that we use that in our business savvy when we attack the market to try to sell these shirts and get our message out. That was our biggest advantage, that we used our competitive spirits to like, all right, this is our game. Like selling to market. This is a game for us. Let's try to do the best we can here.
Yeah, I absolutely love that mentality. I find a lot of times when former athletes kind of get into business, it's their competitive nature that really drives them to succeed. And speaking of athletes, John, it's time you do a little bit of name dropping because I know you guys have partnered with some really great athletes who rock the Rare Breed brand. Let me hear who are some of the big names.
Yeah. So some of the guys, which has been again a blessing, just because none of these guys are really paid. They're just friends through relationships that we've had. Like one of our first guys that we ever got a shirt on was Adrian Peterson. Brian Cushing, who we know personally, is a huge fan of the brand, but he's got an Under Armour deal, so it's not, we can't really promote that too much. Phil Simms, David Deal, um, uh, countless others. Got Justin Trottel, celebrities like people from the Housewives, the stunt women, like this girl Zoe Bell, who's a friend of my partner's, who's just was the stunt double for Thor in the movie Ragnarok. So we've got a number of guys, multiple Division I athletes. We've just been really blessed that, you know, these athletes don't wear anything. Like, they don't want to put anything on because they always have someone pitching them some sort of idea. So for us to have that, it's been pretty cool. You know, hopefully someday we can, you know, pay these guys to be our guy so we can really blow it out of the water. But right now it's doing good for us.
Yeah, I mean, those names you just named are huge. Adrian Peterson, you know, there's not many bigger running backs right now in the NFL. Brian Cushing, obviously he's great. Everyone you just named, that's an honor that, you know, they would wear your stuff, and I mean, you know, vice versa, because I'm looking at all your stuff, and it's quality when you look at the stuff on the website. I mean, your creed, everything on the website, it's for all the motivated people out there. And speaking of motivated people, you know, today's business, we got to bring up today's business. As everyone knows,
Yeah.
Code Green linked up with today's business, and Rare Breed is linked up with today's business as well.
Yes.
We mentioned in the beginning of every show what today's business does, what today's athletes does. So, John, how'd you get linked up with today's business?
So those guys, it's funny because I've known those guys for quite a while. Luke Servino, I coached when I was at Bergen Catholic, and Chaz, I've trained, and it's funny. Max Lepsalter, his dad was my agent. So
Wow.
it's a small world, and when they started to kind of get in the business and they got like into the marketing and the business of sports, it was like a simple transition for us to kind of meet. And it just, I didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't know what we were doing, and it just started to mesh in the right way. And it kind of like their passion for business and our passions for trying to get our message across just meshed really well. And it started going well. And so now we're, you know, hopefully going to do some big things here in the future. And we just want to get with people that are just like us. So those guys are like family to us. So they're awesome.
Yeah, and we feel the same way. We pretty much have someone from today's business talking with us every single day or on the show even.
Yeah.
You mentioned Max, and he was on the show a few weeks ago and had some really excellent thoughts on the NFL as a whole. Now, John, you mentioned that Max's father was your agent. I'd love to know a little bit about some of your time with the New York Jets and just kind of what it was overall like being in the NFL.
It was a short cup of coffee, that's for sure. I was basically a guy that was brought in like every other day to be like a blocking dummy or a bag holding guy. But you know, the experience will last a lifetime. I remember it like it was yesterday. Being called in, getting into the locker room, getting your practice stuff, going out to the field, and just, you know, being amongst these guys. Like I was like in a kid in a candy store. Like, wait, I'm actually here right now. It was a short amount of time over a span of a month, but it was a huge experience. You know, like it was like Vinny Testaverde and Santana Moss and like guys that you watched on TV, and then like, oh my God, I'm in practice with these guys. So it was an amazing experience. I mean, my younger brother played 9 years in the NFL, so he got the full experience. But it's awesome. It's awesome. You know, it's a really something you'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of the 1% who actually made it. So it's a huge accomplishment. A month or whatever, who cares? I mean, you were on the New York Jets, and you know, you could tell that you have a great mind for the sport because of your coaching background now. Can you tell us a little bit about your coaching background currently?
Yeah, so I've been coaching high school sports and college for about 13, 14 years. I was at Don Bosco for a very long time. We had a huge successful run here in North Jersey, number one team in the state, multiple state championships, multiple Division I athletes. And now, we had our legendary head coach step down, and he's moved on somewhere else, and so we kind of disbanded. Now I'm at St. Joe's up here in North Jersey, and very, very history-rich program. It's actually the school my brother went. I could say they're the first big North Jersey school that used to, win multiple championships in a row until we got to Bosco many years ago. But I had a stint at William Patterson for a couple of years and Hackensack, and just this area in North Jersey, it's extremely packed with talented coaches and high school talent. So it's just coaching. It's like coaching at big time college. Coaching in the Big North. It's the league that we play in. You're playing teams that you get like 5,000 to maybe even 10,000 people at a game, which is nuts for high school. So it's been amazing. I coach the D line. I do all the strength and conditioning stuff. It's been awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of big names, coming out of North Jersey football. Brian Cushing won, and then last year Rashawn Gary was a very heavily recruited prospect as well. Now, John, we're almost out of time, so why don't you let everyone know how they can kind of keep in touch with all things Rare Breed on social media?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, which is rarebreedlifestyle.com, and then our Instagram is just Rare Breed Lifestyle. All our contact information is there, our Facebook information, Twitter, everything is online, and that's the easiest thing to do.
All right, so I wanna thank John for coming on the show. That was an amazing interview. Definitely check out his apparel because, like I said, it's all quality stuff. And keep it tuned here to Code Green.